So what you hear in the background is the PS4 running. So before y'all, you're gonna have to deal with it right now, or just don't watch the video. But now, on to this game that I'm going to do a review for. All in all, it was a poorly played game by the Eagles. Now I know they cut the lead to 6 with less under 3 minutes remaining, and they lost by 6 points. But nonetheless, the Eagles should have won this game. How do you let Deshaun Jackson get open at the beginning of the game on the first play of the game? It's beyond me. He has been an Eagle killer his whole career since he has left the Eagles. You let him get past the defenders. The cornerbacks played a terrible game, and I was disappointed in that. And by the way, Carson Wentz will be back week 3 against the Indianapolis Colts. Mike Wallace got hurt against the Buccaneers, and I think what they need to do, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but this is what they need to do. They're going to have to sign a Josh Gordon or sign somebody. That's what they're going to need to do. Because, yeah, Nelson Aguilar is a good receiver. Alshon Jeffrey, he's going to come back sooner than later. They have to get another guy. Now, if Josh Gordon could come out there, Josh Gordon, he is a good receiver. And a lot of people say, well, he's got problems. But this Eagles locker room can really help him with his issues because they need somebody. Okay. But with that saying, when people sit there and say, well, they ain't got enough players, they don't have their top guys. At the end of the day, you have to have somebody that is willing to step up. You have to have people that are going to step up and make plays for you. So I don't want to hear, well, they don't have their players, they don't have this, they don't have that. You have got to step up. It's next man up. That's what it is. I don't want to hear about no, I don't have no players, I don't have this, and I don't have that. You got to step up. And that's what you have to do. Okay? That nonsense, well, bro, they don't have anybody. Okay, yeah, you don't have the players, you don't have the guys, but that next man up, you got to go out there and you got to step up and you got to be a man in that situation. You got to go there and say, you know what, I may not be a superstar, but you know what, I'm going to step up and I'm going to make some plays. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, the offense, Nick Foles threw for over 300 yards, but Nick Foles is Nick Foles. That's what I'm going to say about that. Nick Foles isn't going to be consistent, and you've seen what he has seen before. Now he's had that year when he threw 27-2. That was 2013. This is 2018. That was 5 years ago. You're not going to see that Nick Foles again. Not at the way he's played these last 2 games. You're going to get Carson Wentz back, so that should be a big help. But a lot of people were sitting there saying, oh, well, Nick Foles, he's good. He won a Super Bowl. Okay, a lot of players won a Super Bowl. But is Trent Dilfer a Hall of Fame quarterback? Is Jeff Hostetler a Hall of Fame quarterback? Is Doug Williams a Hall of Fame quarterback? Is Brad Johnson a Hall of Fame quarterback? Is You had teams that went to the Super Bowl. Is Jake Delhomme a Hall of Fame quarterback? Is Eli Manning a Hall of Fame quarterback? Many people are going to say yes because he's won 2 Super Bowls. But at the end of the day, you can win Super Bowl. You can get to a Super Bowl and win Super Bowls because of other factors in the game. The Ravens won the Super Bowl because of their defense. They won because of their defense. So there are exceptions to the rules. There are teams that win championships because their defense plays well, because their defense makes stops, and their quarterback can just manage a game and makes a couple of good plays. Doesn't mean he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But people get so caught up in the MVP. Yeah, he played well. Doug Williams played well and won the MVP, but they're not Hall of Fame quarterbacks. A couple of questionable plays that Doug Peterson made, questionable calls that he's made. I don't mind going for it on fourth down. I really don't mind. But, you know, you got to find the right play call. Nelson Aguilar, he's got to stop trying to be fancy. I thought Zach Ertz had the first down play. And then the goal line. You run 3 times and you waste valuable time off the clock. You pass the ball in that situation. If you can't find you might run on first, second and third down, you throw the ball. You go to Zach Ertz, you go to somebody, and you throw a football. That was valuable time off the clock. I think that they should have held on, that they should have been aware of. Now, the defense. Because it was a play in the later in the game that Ryan Fitzpatrick threw to Deshaun Jackson 19 yards. And the reason why these D-backs were scared to play on these receivers because they got behind them. And they got scared. You have to play on this guy. You have to make sure that guy doesn't get open. And Jim Schwartz did not blitz at all. I don't understand why they didn't blitz. I don't understand. Why? How come you don't blitz? Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't mobile. This was second down and 13 or 15. You got to blitz. You got to rattle him. That's what you have to do. You have to rattle him. And they didn't do that. And, you know, Doug Peterson has to take some blame too. Doug Peterson has to be held accountable too. Now, getting back to the receiving thing. Yeah, are there receivers out there? But is Des Bryant going to be a game changer at this point? Is Des Bryant going to put up Hall of Fame numbers at this point? I don't think so. Is Josh Gordon going to put up Hall of Fame numbers at this point? I don't think so. And people say they should go out and start signing guys and everything. Look, the Eagles had James Thrash and Torrance Small and Todd Pinkston. And they made it to four straight NFC Championships games and made it to the Super Bowl. And they made it to the Super Bowl without Terrell Owens when Terrell Owens was with the Eagles. They made it to the Super Bowl when they had Greg Lewis and Todd Pinkston. So I don't want to hear that, oh, well, the Eagles, they didn't have their top receiver. No, they never had a true number one receiver going into the playoffs. Terrell Owens came back in the Super Bowl. But the Eagles never had a legitimate number one receiver in the playoff game. So you can't blame the playoff games on. You can't blame that on that because Eagles didn't have a number one receiver in that game against Atlanta. Carolina, they, yeah. Okay, that was terrible. But continuing. As I said before, guys have to step up. You can't sit there and say, oh, well, we don't have their players. We don't have those top guys, so we're just going to just lay down and die. No, you got to be a man. You got to step up. It's your turn to step up. At the end of the day, your turn. Go out there and make a play. Make these guys respect you. And they didn't do it today. Make sure you click the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Tell me what you think about this game. Like the video and subscribe.